Right, this is part of our epic adventure for us.
To Liverpool and Blackpool!
Because Mrs. Cornock's just popped out. Well, me and the boys have been sort of sorting ourselves out. Are you ready, Jack?
Yep.
You're worn out. You were up last night late, weren't you? So basically your plan is sleep in the car, isn't it?
Yeah. I know, I had 3 bags.
And you got 3 bags. You're ready to go. So we better crack on, because we are on the adventure to see Liverpool, Anfield Stadium, and Tom Pemberton, and Blackpool. How about that? Crack on. Are you packing your wellies ready?
Yeah.
Jack's got his wellies. We're going to get Northern Muck on them. Oh, sat-nav. Where's the sat-nav? Here we are. Right, we are heading up north. We've finally got ourselves sorted. Mrs. C is here. I'm driving. The kids are looking forward to my driving, aren't you?
Harry's on me. I can feel myself.
You didn't say that earlier, right?
Yeah, I didn't say it earlier. Yes, I did.
You don't like my driving, do you?
No.
You don't like my driving. I like driving the tractor. I'm not very good at driving the car. Hey,
Yeah, you get,
right.
you get bored of
We got a full pack of cigarettes. It's 125 miles to Chicago. Hit it. Or something like that from the Blues Brothers. And we haven't got any cigarettes, have we?
And we're not going to Chicago.
No, we're not going to
but other
Chicago.
than that,
Have we got any sweets?
Yeah.
Good. We've got a full bag of sweets. That's the most important thing. Have we got any Haribo?
Yes, we do.
We got a full pack of Haribo. Right, crack on. Off to Liverpool. Okay, I'm out of the driving seat. Mrs. C's in charge. We are halfway there, I think. It's gone wet and horrible. It's not very nice.
Continue on N6.
Ooh. Right, we've made it to Liverpool. And we are in the Premier Inn. Just for the breakfast alone is worth staying in. See you in the morning. Okay, it's morning time. Derby Lodge. We are just about to go into Liverpool town centre and we've got a taxi booked. Today is Beatles Day. So this video today is Beatles Day. The video I'm doing for tomorrow will be Premier Inn going to... I'm trying to get right over. I'm waiting for Grand C-Max to pick me up. The video tomorrow will be going to Anfield Stadium with Jack, because that's his thing. Today is about me, really. It's Beatles tour time. So we're gonna go, this video is gonna go and see the highlights of the Beatles trip around Liverpool. Hopefully we're gonna go and see the Cavern Club. We're gonna go to Strawberry Fields. We are on the magical mystery tour. What do you know about the Beatles?
They made music. Is that?
That's our trip.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. Right, let's go. Crack on. Tom Pemberton video will be coming another day. Taxi ride to Albert Docks. So we are now at the Albert Docks in Liverpool. There's the Beatles story out over there. Our bus is, we're going to be taking the Magical Mystery bus, is down there. There's the London Eye. We're just going to have a wander around here. I'm not exactly sure where we're going, but that doesn't really matter. Should we walk straight through there?
There's a Premier Inn.
Well, we're not staying there. Right, let's go. There's the docks. Right, let's see what we can find. Paul McCartney, happy birthday. Pretty impressive docks, isn't it?
I wonder if there's someone living in that bus there. In that boat.
Well, I expect some people living in the boats. I just realised, look, can you see that over there, the birds on top of the building? That's the Liver building. And there's birds on there. I'm not sure which birds they are. Look, right at the top. Just going to pick up a few sweeties. Wow. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. What on earth? Harry, Jack, have you seen the chocolate? I love Liverpool chocolate. Beatles sweets. Have they? Oh yes. Oh god.
And there.
Penny Lane, we're going there later.
Why don't you get some?
Wow. Right, will you pick something? camel board. So what have you got? You got the Swedish fish. Harry got... Harry, what did you get?
Warhead cubes. They're
He
very,
looks a
they're
bit like
very,
you.
They're very popular in America.
Are they? Oh,
It's
goodness.
basically toxic waste.
Oh.
If you know what that is,
That's
it blows
sour.
your head off.
Oh,
Yeah.
good on you. Okay, what is that then? What?
It's a bunch of painted.
Don't push it over, Harry.
Why not? They just sprayed the building.
Wow. We'll get a photo of that. Go on, Harry, go and push against it. Just push against it. Go on.
Does it big?
No, from the side. Hang on. One more. Brilliant. Thank you, Harry. Oh my God, it's going to fall. What is it? Is it actually a piece?
I think it's actual boulders.
What the?
I don't know. Just covered in paint.
Cool, isn't it? It looks pretty new as well because it's all really fresh, isn't it?
Shiny.
Wow, it's really neon, isn't it? I love that.
I like that.
We just literally landed in Liverpool, come to the first bit
And
of
then
Albert
you
Docks.
just
It's
see it
awesome.
coming down.
I love it down here. Right, keep going. Right, there's the clue. It's the Tate Modern or Tate, so obviously, yes. Are we going to go around the Tate?
Yeah,
Oh,
also
great.
Maritime Museum. Let's get around there.
Okay. Well, where's the Beatles statue? It's down here somewhere as well, isn't it? Which one are we going to first? There seems to be a lot to choose. Well, we haven't made it to Tate yet, but there's Billy Fury. Oh, I didn't know he was born in Liverpool. Uh-huh. Right, I'm on the hunt for the Beatles statue. That is the Museum of Liverpool. That's a bit... It's not exactly blending in with the environment, is it? The old buildings, and then there's this sort of... I wouldn't say that's pretty. Depends what you like as a building, but I mean, I much prefer the building behind. That old building there. And look, the Liverbirds at the top. We're getting closer. I think the Beatles statue's down here somewhere, which is
Probably is.
what I want to see. Yeah, I can see this statue around here. There's a few people stood round it, I think. Let's get to it. How iconic is that? Look, so we've got the Mersey ferries here. Can you see the Mersey ferry on the thing? And look at that. Ferry cross the Mersey. Something like that. God, this is just full of iconic images, really. With the Liverbirds looking up. Look at that. Yes, this is just, for me, this is just amazing. Ferry across the Mersey. Right, what do you think? To you, this is just like all weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it your dad being weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're used to that though, Harry, aren't you, really? You're just looking forward to Tom Pemberton, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go down here. There we are, we've got like a tour just stopped here, I think. Look at this. Here they are, look. Iconic statues. I think Paul McCartney came round these and had a look at them. Look at that. So everyone's queuing up. John Lennon, Ringo Starr, George Harrison, Paul McCartney. And there's a little plaque on the bottom. That's a cracking picture. There we go, so we've had our picture taken in front of that famous statue, the same way as Paul McCartney turned up and had his picture taken. Right, we're going to head off now and look at some other bits and pieces. Let's go. There are plenty of places to look around. We're just going to have a quick look inside the Museum of Liverpool. We haven't got long. I think there's so much to see here. We've got our trip booked on the bus at 1 o'clock. Smells really good, actually. I'm wandering around here. So this is not a farming video, but this is what I like doing. I like doing something that reflects our life as well as farming. So this is my thing, really. This is the Beatles thing today, but we're doing everything for the family as well. So we're stopping off at museums and seeing a bit of life here in Liverpool, and I'm very impressed by this city so far. Very impressed. Smart suits.
Yeah.
4 Beatles suits. John, Paul, George and Ringo. Wow.
I'm just looking at the buttons.
Huh? The buttons?
My nan had buttons like that.
You see, well, it's really 60s, isn't it? What year is this? 1963. Wow. You know, they are the lads themselves wearing those suits. Okay, we're waiting for the bus, the magical mystery bus. It is going to take us away around on a tour of Liverpool with Beatles stuff. So we're over Strawberry Fields, Penny Lane, Paul McCartney's house. I'm not sure what else, but we're going to end up at the Cavern. So come with us on this magical mystery tour. Of course, I have to say that I have a problem with copyright on music on this, so if there's the times when they're playing music on the bus or anywhere, I won't be able to play it, which is unfortunate. But you know, you can look it up. Magical Mystery Tour. So take it away.
Now that one there is number 9. And on the 7th of July 1940, Ringo was born inside the house. Now that of course makes Ringo the oldest member of the band. He was 3 months older than John Lennon. Now when Ringo was 3 years old, his father left his mother, and that left his mother wartime, 1940s, single parent. She worked in a bar. She could no longer afford to pay the rent on the 3-bedroom house, so she had to move 150 yards around the corner to a 2-bedroom house coming up here on the right hand side. You look to the right, you see John Culshaw's Ringo mural. Aside from that, another little street called Admiral Grove. Halfway down, right hand side of the street, look out for the pink and white house. That one's number 10. That's the place where Ringo lived from when he was 4 till he was 23 years old.
Pain is in my ears and in my eyes, there beneath the blue suburban sky. Right, we're at Penny Lane. I probably got the words wrong there. We are at the famous Penny Lane. So we just got off. There's the sign. Try not to get run over, look. That Penny Lane all the way up there then, is it? I think we've come sort of almost to the wrong end actually, because all the song talks about the roundabout and everything like that, but we're stopping here right by the sign, but we're not doing much more. You're going to take the ferry? Alright. Alright. Let's get a picture. There's a sign this side as well. Ticking off slowly, done Penny Lane, Ringo's house. I think we're doing Strawberry Fields. Does this mean anything to you, Jack? Do you know the song Penny Lane?
Yeah, I heard it.
I'll play it to you. Mum and Harry decided to stay on board. They're not interested, are they? This is in my indulgence, but Jack, you get your indulgence tomorrow, don't you? Yeah. Full on Liverpool Stadium. Harry gets to do Tom Pemberton on Monday. Mum, as he said, Mum didn't get anything to see. We owe Mum something. Right, we're heading back to the bus. Next stop, I'm not sure. It's number plate, look. Magical Mystery Tour. The Magical Mystery Tour.
So, think of the lyrics, the words in the song, some of the people, places in the song, and that's what we're going to be looking at next. Top end of Penny Lane, and I suppose some of you are wondering what's the significance and why would Paul McCartney write a song about a street? You know, John, Paul, George, they all lived approximately a mile or so away from the top end of Penny Lane, but they did all live in different directions. So the top of the lane, it was the hub. It was the central meeting place. It was the place where they would have gone shopping for food with the mothers when they were very young children. It's the place where they would have hung out when they were teenagers. Think of the lyrics, the words in the song. Behind the shelter in the middle of the roundabout, a pretty nurse sells poppies from a tray. Now, the building they're referring to, about 150 yards ahead of us on the right-hand side, slightly to the right, that grey-coloured building with glasswork on the top of it. Now, originally it was a tram terminus. Later on, it became a bus terminus. And the destination of trams and buses that would terminate there was Penny Lane. So that's why the locals call the whole neighbourhood Penny Lane. But it really is where we are now that the Beatles are referred to in the song, not so much the actual street. Now, the banker never wears a mac in the pouring rain, very strange. A famous Penny Lane banker. Back in the day, there were 3 different banks on 3 different corners. To the right, just here, used to be a TSB bank. If you look slightly to the right ahead of us, you see a building that says Penny Lane Hotel. Well, that was also a bank as well. But the one that they refer to in the song, you look right again, you see the Penny Lane surgery. Is still actually my doctor's surgery, but it used to be a Martin's bank. Later on it became a Barclays bank, and they say it's that one that they refer to in the song because it's on the same block as the famous Penny Lane barbershop. So when we turn right here, about 50 yards left hand side on the next bend, take a look out for Tony Slavin, the barbershop, the famous Penny Lane barbers. Basically what the song is all about. Song's about the various different local people coming in and out of this barber shop. Originally it was an Italian barber. His name was Bialetti. Old Harry, he lived above the barber shop.
George Harrison's house. Unassuming little side street. Here we go. Not anything special, is it? Look at it. There we go.
You know, they're really proud at St. Peter's that the first meeting of Lennon and McCartney, it took place inside the church hall. And they still say to this very day at St. Peter's that it was in our church hall. It was the place that changed the face of music forever. And you know, they're certainly not far wrong. So we are now just about to come into Woolton Village. It is a nice part of the city here. It's won numerous awards in recent years for being the nicest village in the northwest of England. But shortly we will be looking at St. Peter's. When we do turn right, top of the hill, left-hand side, you will see St. Peter's Church and its cemetery. Right-hand side, 100 yards up the hill, after a row of cottages, you're going to notice a couple of buildings. Now, the building at the front is the original St. Peter's Church School. We're really more interested in the big red brick building behind that one. Now, that's the church hall. And just to remind you, 6th of July, 1957. That's the place where Lennon and McCartney first met. So after these cottages on the right, that second building at the back there is the church cemetery. You know, in 2009, I fronted a campaign and I got 2 gravestones restored in this cemetery. One of them was a guy called George Toogood Smith. Now, he was John Lennon's uncle. He was also Aunt Mimi's husband. Now, the other gravestone I got restored here at St. Peter's is the gravestone of Eleanor Rigby.
Oh,
there is actually an Eleanor Rigby buried here at St. Peter's. It's the one them 2 guys, or guy and girl, are looking at now. The red gates of Strawberry Field, the entrance to Strawberry Field. These gates, you know, the replica gates, perfect replicas, they took 10 months to make, and the originals are now inside, part of the exhibition.
Strawberry Fields forever. Right, these are, so we're at the gates for Strawberry Fields. The most famous, one of the most famous John Lennon songs of that mid-60s. Here we go, look at that. Wow. Look at that. Bit of graffiti on there.
We need to get back as soon as we can, thanks.
Back on the bath.
Hero. He lived in the nicest house in the nicest neighbourhood out of
There is.
all of the Beatles. I suppose if any of the Beatles were true working class heroes, it certainly would have been Ringo or George. Now, to live in a house like this one, especially back in the 1940s, it would have been pretty well to do. So the house is 251 Menlove Avenue. It's called Mendips. In 2002, Yoko Ono, she bought this house, donated it to the National Trust. So the National Trust now own 2 of the 4 Beatles houses, both John Lennon's and also Paul McCartney's. Now John, he lived in this house between 1945 and 1963. So from when he was 5 till he was 23 years old. So that means John lived in the house for a total of 18 years. It also means that John lived here longer than he ever lived anywhere else. Now, if you notice the small bedroom window, the one on the left-hand side, that was John Lennon's bedroom. Directly underneath that window, there's a small porchway and a black door. Now, that's the place where John used to practice playing his guitar. His Aunt Mimi used to complain about the noise. She used to put him there in the porchway. Now, John, he said he didn't mind. He said the acoustics were very good inside the porchway. But it's famously in that porch, his Aunt Mimi once said to him, she said, "It's all well and good, this guitar thing, John, but you're never going to make any money out of it."
Right, next stop, Paul McCartney's house.
20 Forthlin Road. It's the McCartney family home. Now the McCartneys, they lived in 8 different addresses around the city here in Liverpool. This was the 8th address that they moved to. Paul, he lived here for 7 years. Now, the National Trust acquired this property themselves in 1995 now.
Being thrown out of that.
Here it is, it's the one with the old windows, look. Oh, and it's got a plaque in front of it as well. Number 20. Oh, okay, then the driver. Get run over. Sorry. At least it's not Abbey Road. Right, the interesting thing is that when I went to Abbey Road, trying to get across the traffic there with the zebra crossing was a nightmare. And I'm sure these people who live around here must be thinking, oh blimey, another load of tourists. But there's the, so there is the Paul McCartney home, being restored by the National Trust, and so is John Lennon's to look like they did in the 60s. That's why it's got the windows that are different from everyone else's. Look. Right, I think that's probably the end of the tour. We're heading back. Indulge myself in my one thing that I've wanted to do. I've always wanted to come to Liverpool and see everything that was to do with it, because you just don't get a feel for it on a little bits of things you see on TV. Last stop, I think, is the Cavern. We're going to go to the Cavern Club, where the Beatles really started. So we're heading off now. Cracking on with the Beatles.
We now have arrived back in the city centre. We're going to take a little drive through the Georgian Quarter, and it's the 5th largest cathedral in the whole world. You know, when Paul McCartney was 11 years old, he came to this cathedral. He had an audition to become a choir boy. Now, they told him his voice wasn't strong enough. They wouldn't let him join the cathedral choir. However, he did get his own back in 1991. did a classical piece of music called the Paul McCartney Liverpool Oratorio. Just now making our way round to Matthew Street. For those of you who don't know, it really is a very small, narrow street. Impossible for us to drive the bus along Matthew Street. Also, because of parking restrictions, we can't stop at the top of the street. We have to go a little bit past it. I don't know, about a 60-second walk back to the club. And when the bus does turn right, almost immediately on the left-hand side, what appears to be a very small alleyway, well, that is actually Matthew Street. At the top of the street, you see the world's first Beatles themed house.